So the next thing I want to talk about is leadership. How did you grow your team? How did you get them to be on board with your vision and your long-term vision? And how did you find those people?
So I think, for me, I do think leadership is very spiritual. You're talking about having a dream, having a vision, and then convincing people to spend most of their waking hours, with you, helping you accomplish that and achieve that dream. And sure, there's a paycheck involved, but you can get a paycheck at, many different places. What's going to make someone stay? What's going to make them, feel that your dream is also theirs? And for me, so much of it is about transparency, giving them access to the really important and special and exciting things that are going on in the company, having them participate in those components. No idea doesn't belong. I've had a lot of people who work with me over the years say, I've never felt like I can really share some of this, like, even if it's just like something totally not in their department. They're in sales and they had a marketing idea, or they're in operations and they have an idea for, packaging change, that they really feel heard, because why, as the leader, would you ever not at least have an idea come across your table? What if, what if it's something special, or what if it gets you thinking differently? It's just, to me, brings more like value to the team that you've hired. And I think also, especially in today's world, like, people's jobs are very much their lifestyle. It used to be, like live, work, kind of like very, very separated, and that balance was defined more like by boundaries. And now I think people's work is their life, like people view what they do as, something that they want to brag about. And it's much more difficult to fully turn it off because of, technology. So you just want to make sure the experience is absolutely like the most fun and connected it can be. So we do a lot of things, outside of the work. We just had like a company bonfire. We, did a fun kind of like bowling and drinks. We did a whole retreat where we rented a house in Malibu and spent, 3 days together doing different exercises. So I think you really, really have to think of it from their perspective and what's going to feel special to them, what's really going to resonate with them, and what's something that it literally is impossible to walk away from. And then the last thing I'll say is, I think I'm a big believer, ironically, that when you're having the most fun is when you work the hardest, because you don't notice that you're doing the work. It's just so fun, the day goes by. That's how I feel about my own job. So just make it fun. Like, it doesn't have to be super serious, especially in my line of work of ice cream and cookies.
Well, I want to close out this podcast by asking you 2 really important questions. 1, what is your favorite ice cream flavor?
I'll tell you only my favorite of the moment, because it really does change, I guess, depending on my day and my mood and all that. I would say, like, if I could have anything right now, I might go for our cookie dough sandwich, which is so classic and so good. I think it's the best cookie dough out there. Again, elevating a classic. For a pint, I would probably go for milk and cookie crumb, which is like, not like cookies and cream. It's like the Oreo completely disintegrated on the bottom of the glass of milk and then turn that into an ice cream. And then I would probably also want a bite of something dairy-free. Our dairy-free ice cream sandwich and ice cream line is incredible. I think right now my favorite is peanut butter fudge chip. I
love that. I told you I love the molten chocolate. That's my favorite, and I'm sticking.
Amazing.
And the last question is, there are lots of minorities that are wanting to start businesses.
Yeah.
And the reason I ask about minorities specifically is because maybe they have a little bit more of an uphill battle.
Yeah.
Especially when they're seeking investments and so forth. So what words of inspiration or advice do you have specifically for people who fit the minority bill?
I think you have to lean into it as one of your biggest advantages. I think I could totally see how it seems like, oh, no one's hearing this voice. No one's listening. They're not putting dollars behind it. There's not value. Well, that's like you are the one who can change that, because, there's as big an audience of so many different minorities, for example, in the US. And if you think about, for years and years, and it's getting a little better now, but still has a long way to go. So much of media was only projecting the perspective of one audience, and yes, different minorities were were watching those shows or participating in it, but it didn't really connect. And if you can be that person who can really tap into that audience and create that authentic connection and that loyalty, I mean, it's just good business. You know, that's a much bigger opportunity than those who will just project the same perspective over and over. There's a limitation there. It's going to end. And I think we're just scratching the surface of what kind of value that can bring if you're able to, you know, create a business that can really speak to that audience.
All right, everybody, you heard her. Natasha says, whether you're a minority or not, you're going to have hurdles and barriers, but there is nothing that should stop you, right?
Indeed.
Alrighty, well, I want to thank you so much for being on the podcast. Tell everyone where they can find your lovely ice cream.
So we're in about 7,500 grocery stores all around the country, everything from Whole Foods, Safeways, Kroger's, Ralph's in Southern California, Publix, Wegmans, Gelson's and Bristol Farms in Southern California as well, more boutique markets. Our trucks are in LA, Dallas, and New York, and we have a scoop shop here in Culver City, LA, and in Dallas. Just follow us at Coolhaus to find out more.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Natasha.
Thank you.